Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of TESL Career Boosts. Today, we're here with Kathy Hughes from the Center for Canadian Language Benchmarks, and we are going to be talking about how to incorporate the CLB, the Canadian Language Benchmark document, into interviews to further our success.
Great,
Thank you, Kathy.
Great. Thanks very much, Sannah. We're happy to be here today and to provide any insight that we can in how the Canadian language benchmarks can be woven into employment opportunities that ESL professionals may have.
Great. All right, so we'll start. So can you give a very brief overview of what the Canadian Language Benchmarks, the CLB, and why they are so important or beneficial to the English language teaching?
Absolutely. The Canadian language benchmarks are the national standard used to describe, measure, and recognize adult English as a second language ability in Canada. They are funded by Immigration, Refugees, and Citizenship Canada. They're used as a scale of communicative proficiency in ESL. They're described range as 12 benchmarks, or they're 12 benchmarks reference points. They are, though, within 3 stages of ability: basic, intermediate, and advanced. Stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. They do cover 4 skills. Of course, the 4 skills are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. They're the framework of reference for learning, teaching, programming, and assessing adult English as a second language in Canada. There's basically, 4 really key guiding principles around the CLB. So again, if you do bring them up in an interview, the points you want to hit on are that the CLBs are competency-based, they are learner-centered, they are task-based, and the CLB stress community, study, and work-related tasks. So these are all the really key points.
Great. And how can knowledge of the CLB help a novice teacher be successful in their search for employment?
Sure. Well, government-funded language program follow the Canadian language benchmarks. And so if you're going to be going into an interview, you need to be clear, therefore, that you have knowledge and an understanding of this framework. And then that can definitely provide an advantage, to anyone seeking employment in these areas.
Great. Where can novice teachers find training and information about the CLB to prepare themselves for employment in the TESL education field?
It's very easy. CLB has free open training to anyone that's interested in learning about the benchmarks. It's completely free and open, as I mentioned. You just have to go to the CLB e-learning portal, where it houses, several free training options. So that's the starting point for anyone who wants to know more about the CLBs. The absolute step 1 is what's known as a CLB boot camp. And as it suggests, it's, a Kickstarter to help increase knowledge of the CLBs. It's an asynchronous course, which means, you can take it at your own pace, which helps familiarize participants with their role in planning and assessment, and of course, all around the standard of the CLB. The last module of the course provides a small introduction to portfolio-based language assessment. And once the CLB bootcamp is completed, participants can attend the self-directed PBLA training course. Another course that we often bring to the attention of teachers is the Maximizing the CLB Support Kit, because this course offers an overview on all the resources and tools that can be found in the support kit. And that really does provide support for teachers who are planning their daily classroom activities. So this resource offers teachers, they're real exemplars, of tasks at different levels. And again, that's often sometimes what people feel they want to check on, that they need to demonstrate. So these are useful, again, for, new teachers to get to know the different CLB levels that they may not have experienced. So that's about it.
Great. what can candidates incorporate? What kind of elements can they incorporate of the CLB around lesson planning?
Right. Well, we thought that, for this, looking at the CLB level criteria, the actual criteria is always the first reference point, and it's a place to ensure that the competencies in the CLB level are being addressed in the planning process. So that, would be a good checkpoint. So when planning task-based lessons, the key component would be to make sure the real world task goal, again, your real world task goal is a focus for that lesson, and these would be the authentic tasks done in the real world that learners would need to practice a small portion of in the classroom.
For sure. Yeah, that makes sense. If a candidate has to prepare a sample lesson plan, what are some aspects that they should include?
Sure. Well, the CLBs work according to the skill level and describe what a person can do in each skill. So all tasks in our daily life require the skills we use. So candidates could speak on, one or two of the skills and give examples of the need to support learning around these skills. So again, the CLB support kit, provides exemplars that, use a real life task focused on different skills. And in particular too, the CLB can-do checklists are also key classroom resources and, certainly a go-to for a lot of teachers.
That makes sense. How should candidates speak about incorporating CLB assessment tools during their interviews?
Well, any assessment really begins with the teaching and learning needed before the assessment is given. The CLB document is a great source to start, because each level, there are sample tasks that are given as examples for teachers. The CLB support kit, particularly on pages, 36 to 38, also give a lot of examples of assessment tools that can be used. Specifically items such as checklists, very popular rating scales, feedback forms, and more. And again, the ready-made PBLA module packages are also a good source for more samples, definitely. And these resources definitely provide teachers with the key criteria that they should be looking for and to include in skill-using tasks and assessment tools.
Great. And is there anything else you think that novice teachers in particular should know about the CLB?
Let me see now for novice teachers. Definitely again, to reference all of the resources, that the CLB has available. And they're designed to provide, both new and experienced teachers with an introduction to the Canadian language benchmarks. And we also just wanted to let folks know that these resources are available in both English and French. I think, again, for novice teachers, I would be looking at, again, the can-do statements, the PBLA modules are really helpful.
For sure. Great. Well, thank you so much, Kathy, for answering those questions. That gives a very good insight on how to incorporate into the interviews, and also just demonstrating your own knowledge and really how amazing the CLB document is.
Yeah, it's great. So, again, in conclusion, we definitely recommend, suggest checking out the CLB website for any more up-to-date resources. We also have a newsletter that folks can sign on to, and CLB has an account on LinkedIn.